number 2. The winner will take on Houston. You're watching Champ Week on ESPN, presented by Principal. And our matchup here in our second semifinal, the 3-seed Baylor going up against the 2-seed Iowa State, the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA Tournament. So number 1 seeded Houston awaits the winner of this one between Iowa State and Baylor. All right, on the Iowa State side, one of the first things, Fran Fraschilla, we talk about is this crowd. The other thing is their point guard. Tamin Lipsey is a guy that is so good. He fuels them both ends of the court.
Absolutely. He started from day one. He grew up 3 miles from Hilton Coliseum, and he does a lot of the things that Jamal Shead does for his team. He's 2 years younger, but already a first-team All-Big 12 performer.
And for more on the Cyclones, here's Chris Budden.
Hi, Big Show. When TJ Otzelberger took over this team 3 years ago, he inherited a team that went winless in the Big 12. Since then, making 3 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances and a possible 2-seed this year. He's done it all with the foundation of defense and physicality.
You know, we want our identity to do effort-based things really well, to give maximum effort, whether that's sprint back on defense, defensively guard the basketball.
Carter lost the handle. Lipsey hits the floor. Dog gets a turnover. Lipsey has it.
We want to really focus on being great in those effort-based areas. Our guys embraced that identity and felt like, you know, a few weeks into the season, it was something that we knew we could build on.
Inside T-Mobile Center, and a lot of Iowa State fans here. Baylor here tonight, trying to pick up a win and match up with Houston. Iowa State trying to do the same. The top 4 seeds making it to the semifinals. Houston has prevailed over Texas Tech, and now it's the 2-seed Iowa State, the 3-seed Baylor. It'll be Big Rob energy. Rob Jones to jump it up against Eve Meese. And eventually Baylor wins the tip. The Bears have the basketball. And Lipsey right up in Dennis's shorts.
Yep, you're going to see great ball pressure, especially on the perimeter.
Walter handling, ball fake, kick out, and that slips through the fingers of Dennis. Shot clock under 10. Dennis, kick out, Bridges. Got to get something up. Dennis fires. That's too strong. Rebound deflected, and eventually Iowa State has it. Momcilovic. And the 3 will go. You see the starting 5 for Iowa State. Meanwhile, Dennis, Nunn, Walter, Bridges, and Meese, the 5 for the Bears.
Well, the Cyclone freshman, John, was 5 for 33 from deep before that shot.
Bridges, nice move. The tip from Meese wouldn't go, but he draws the foul. Foul will be on Milan Momcilovic for TJ Otzelberger, his 3rd season as the Iowa State head coach, and a guy who is familiar with the program as he did some coaching there as an assistant, and he's instilled a culture of defense first and everybody chugging on the rope at the same time.
It's interesting, John, he's been an assistant coach for 3 different head coaches. McDermott, Hoiberg, Prohm. He's never been part of a Big 12 tournament title team during that time.
Even though they've had a ton of success here at this tournament, they won it 4 times. Lipsey will fire and hit. 6-1 Iowa State. Meese puts it on the floor. Dennis now. Dennis looking for a seam. Kick to the left side, Bridges.
Wow, he's open.
Lipsey, catch and shoot. Got it.
This guy made 5 threes as a freshman.
Well, Tamin Lipsey, Fran, we talked about him at the start of the broadcast.
Oh,
He stepped on Nunn's foot there.
Yep, he's so important to this team, John. And it's not just all the things he does on the defensive end. Last year, he was 5 for 25 behind the arc. This year, he's made 38 threes at a 38% clip, and he becomes that more dangerous as a threat from the perimeter.
Iowa State, I'm going to correct what I said earlier, trying to win their 6th Big 12 tourney championship. 9-1 in the early going, all Iowa State. It's a Baylor team that can score it, especially good from 3. Nunn here going to work inside. Offensive foul.
What Iowa State does as well as anybody, they guard the baseline first, and then when you swing it and you attack the middle of the defense, there's usually a big guy waiting for you. Excellent job by Big Rob Energy.
Rob Jones, Lipsey splits the defense, had it knocked away, but it ends up with King. Gilbert on the left side, Momcilovic. And Bridges rebounds. Jalen Bridges, very good rebounder. The West Virginia transfer and an excellent shooter as well. Lipsey puts it on the floor, got a step. High off the glass, wouldn't go. Gilbert the other way. Momcilovic had space in there. Lipsey to Jones. Shot was short.
That's not his shot. Rob Jones is much better in the paint, but he was wide open. He let it fly. One thing about this defense, John, you cannot drive baseline on them. There's too much help.
Dennis shake and bake. Wow, the throwdown. Lipsey from Ray J. Dennis.
Great vision by Dennis. He saw Lipsey get behind the bigs and put it right on the money. Baylor in a zone. It's a 1-1-3 that turns into a 2-3.
Bridges pops out on Gilbert. Shot clock is under 10. King now. And Lipsey swoops in for the rebound. Dennis the other way. Baylor down 6. This is Jacoby Walter, their prize freshman, top 10 recruit, and a guy that likely will go top 10 of the NBA draft. Bridges off the mark. Gilbert rebounds.
Well, I think the idea is to drive Momcilovic, but he moves his feet a lot better than you think.
Gilbert left hand scoops it in.
Might be as underrated a player as there is in this league. Really came on in January, and he's taken a lot of heat off Lipsey.
Got a dozen points, 5 assists in a win over Kansas State. That jumper rattles out for Trey King, and now Dennis pushing it. Dennis flips it up. And Lipsey able to draw the foul. And that foul on Trey King.
Well, Keshon Gilbert, the transfer from UNLV. Take a look. He can play with the ball. He can set up his teammates. But man, has he got some creativity tonight.
Drew tossed in that one for the coaching box violation.
And Cyclones went on a 20-0 run in that game. There's a vintage shot by Ray J. Dennis. He's got that little one-hand floater down pat. Again, Baylor staying in zone. John, they played very little zone early in the year. Now it's basically mix and match, game to game. Whatever's working, they stay with it.
Baylor came out cold against Cincinnati. Caleb Lohner came off the bench and played well. 16 minutes and had 5 points and 7 rebounds.
I think one of the best performances of his career.
Pass intended for Omaha Ballou. And speaking of a guy who hadn't gotten a chance to play a ton, Ballou hadn't played since January 24th and came off the bench and gave him good minutes.
Yeah, but he's playing, John, because Demarion Watson, who's a good 3-and-D guy, has some concussion issues. Terrific job by Misi, just couldn't finish it. Excuse me, Ojonwuna.
Josh Ojonwuna, close-in look. There's Gilbert, shot wouldn't go. Lohner pulls it down, and Dennis the other way. Iowa State by 6. Lob here, Ojonwuna couldn't secure it. And Hason Ward collects, push up ahead. Curtis Jones out the window and in.
Transfer from Buffalo. Tamin Lipsey missed 1 game this year at TCU. Jones and Gilbert were terrific. I think that changed their season around.
Pocket passes. It was Ojonwuna from Dennis to Lohner for the bucket.
Yeah, great cut by Caleb Lohner behind that defense. When they won without Lipsey, it gave his team so much more confidence.
Gilbert hangs in the air off the glass, wouldn't go. Put back wouldn't fall. And now it's Dennis the other way. Baylor up ahead, Lohner. And one. No foul call, I beg your pardon.
Well, they have numbers, and Lohner just ran hard and was rewarded for his hustle.
So Caleb Lohner, again, 5.7 rebounds in a quarterfinal win against Cincinnati. And comes up with the bucket here. Baylor within 4. Momcilovic. Ballou swings it, feed inside. Jones contested it, and I think Dennis may have deflected it. Dennis fires. And flying in for the rebound is Curtis Jones. Gilbert cuts, feeds Ward, banks it in.
2 possessions in a row. They got the ball to the middle of the zone, and that time they got something on the back, on the baseline.
Bounce pass, and that's deflected, and now it's Gilbert. Full head of steam. Gilbert up ahead. Feeds Ballou. And a foul on the floor against Baylor. 11:19 to go here in the first half. Iowa State by 6. The winner gets Houston in the championship. Guards in the history of the Iowa State program. You look back and you think Jeff Hornacek. How about Jamal Tinsley? Of course, Monte Morris and Tyrese Halliburton, the guy who's made quite a mark in the NBA. And now it is the kid from Ames, Tamin Lipsey.
Yeah, well, he's trying to do what Tinsley and Halliburton and Morris all did, which is win a Big 12 tournament title. You mentioned it, John, 4 tournament titles in 9 years. And a lot in large part because they've had great point guard play. And oh, by the way, this crowd doesn't hurt either when they play in here.
Lipsey told me this week that he models his game after Monte Morris. He said he's gotten to spend a lot of time with him, get some advice, even most recently this past football season when he came back to watch an Iowa State football game. They spent a lot of time together and has been a big influence on his life.
Yeah, very similar the way they play, Chris. We watched Monte as a freshman and sophomore, and you kind of knew he was going to stay in the NBA a long time.
Lohner puts it on the floor in the paint, now flips it up and in. 2 more, and Caleb Lohner has 6.
John, last night he played the most minutes he had since December 22nd against Mississippi Valley State, and he has really made an impact in 2 games here in Kansas City.
So Caleb Lohner giving them some energy And effort off the bench plus some scoring. 15-11 to score. Lipsey tried for the steal. Jones has it. And now Curtis Jones. Shot clock winding down. Lipsey got to get something off. Lipsey looking, scoops it. Wouldn't fall, and Lohner has it. So now Baylor back the other way. Semifinal number 2. And the winner gets Houston in the championship. Dennis able to find Bridges, and he gets fouled.
Well, Ray J. Dennis, John, what a revelation. When you think of Baylor's great freshmen through the years, last 3 years they've had a first-round pick. How about the transfers? Bridges, Dennis, none. You go back to Makai Mason, Brady Heslop. How about Epe Udo, a lottery pick? They were ahead of the curve on transfers. And I'm just going to test you a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
When you think of all the kids we get to meet during the season, these transfers, it used to be transfers were taking somebody else's problems. Some of the best people we meet every season are these kids that come into the Big 12, and we get to know them, and Baylor certainly got a bunch of them, as does Iowa State tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you look at the transfer portal, before it was the portal, these two schools were really active in finding transfers. I think these two schools in Gonzaga are 3 schools that you think of that were ahead of the curve in the transfer game.
And no question about it. Very great evaluators.
Jones gives off Lipsey. That's a 3. And Lohner the rebound. He continues to give him good minutes. Miro Little grabs from Lohner, and now Dennis to the corner. Bridges got it. Jalen Bridges has tied the game. Good three-point shooter. He knocks it down at about 40%. That's close to what the team shoots.
Yep, exactly. And he loves that left corner. He's got a little real estate there. He's not paying rent either. He's got a mortgage.
King inside. And King, as Iowa State retakes the lead.
See, they're trying to drive Momcilovic, but they won't be able to do that.
Dennis can't hit. Momcilovic comes away with the rebound. Toss up ahead, and Jones. Rob Jones here working on Lipsey and overpowers him for the deuce.
Coming off a monster game last night, 18 points.
At times it's going to feel like an Iowa State home game. Bridges step back off the mark. Lipsey the rebound, and he gets fouled. Well done by the freshman Lipsey.
We saw a great performance last night. Not known as a scorer, but right here he just muscles the freshman. And I'll tell you what, this place in downtown Kansas City, if you don't have a ticket, there's plenty of Cyclone fans outside.
Amazing. In the first half, John Shambi, Fran Fraschilla, and Chris Budden. Dennis, oh, it's rejected by Ward. Well, we've seen that quick release flip layup shot off the wrong foot work so well, and that time it got blocked.
Ward was ready. Take a look. He just waits for Dennis to leave his feet, and at 6'9" or so, he's got plenty of length to get the job done.
Shot clock under 10. And now Dennis directing traffic. Heaves it up. And Lipsey corrals Iowa State into the front court, leading by 4. Lipsey gives off Ward, and he draws the foul. And that was created by Tamin Lipsey. Our under 8 timeout. It is semifinal number 2. Packed house filled with Iowa State fans, and the Cyclones with the early 4-point advantage. If you look at the culture of this Baylor program and you look at some of the threads throughout Scott Drew's time, offensive rebounding would be one of them.
I'd say usually in the top 10 every single year. This year they are 25th, still pretty good. But absolutely, John, they They have oftentimes dominated the glass. Tonight they have 3 offensive rebounds. And so he'd like a little more effort.
And it is an Iowa State team that is vulnerable, not a great defensive rebounding Iowa State team. Walter puts it on the floor. He's been quiet, high off the glass. Lipsey corrals. Lipsey up ahead to Jones. And now Lipsey will set it up. Iowa State leading it by a half dozen. Momcilovic inside, little strong. Offensive rebound, still too strong. Loner pulls it down. Get a couple of good looks at it.
Yeah, right in the middle of that zone. They've done that a number of times.
And Loner gets knocked down. And that foul's going to be on Lipsey. And that'll be his first. State upset Duke. North Carolina in a spot to get a 1 seed.
It came with a little double team. That's a timeout.
None. Get rid of it. He does. Now the lob. And Messi, great hands off the feed from Loner. Wow.
Wow, and I tell you, TJ Otzelberger was not happy with that non-call. Trying to figure out what they're looking at. Watch the double team right here. And it looked like Nunn was in trouble.
Last play is under review for a potential flagrant foul.
It's going to be on Nunn. Oh, that's going to be a flagrant 1.
Yeah.
That will be a flagrant 1. And Nunn trying to get out of that double team. I would have called timeout. And here's the other thing, John. They had the possession arrow. You have to know that. That should be a flagrant 1. Watch the left arm extend into Lipsey's chest. Have to call that.
You heard Doug Sermons say what they were looking at. Veteran group with Marcus Pettigrew and Brett Smith, along with Doug Sermons.
I mean, it's got to. I think that has to be a flagrant 1.
So we wait for the officials to decide here. Play that ended with the bucket and Messi converting.
We would come out of every timeout when I was coaching and somebody would say, our possession, their possession. Remember, our possession if it's a jump ball. And all Jaden had to do there is just hold on to the ball and let them tie him up. There's a lot of discussion here. And I'd be very surprised if it isn't anything but a flagrant 1, because he clearly extended that left arm and knocked Lipsey back. To me, that's not incidental. Now, Doug Sermons is as good as it gets, and we'll find out here shortly.
By rule, we did not call a cylinder foul on the play. We cannot go back and call a cylinder on the play. However, the act by number 2 was flagrant. We have a flagrant foul on number 2 for Baylor. 2 shots on the ball for Iowa State.
Excellent explanation from Doug Sermons, making the cylinder point. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Yep, and there was no cylinder foul here. That's why they didn't call it. The cylinder foul comes into play when you don't give the offensive player room to turn.
I feel like Doug, to some extent, is saying it probably was a cylinder foul, but they didn't call that. And so what we are able to review, because the cylinder foul or lack thereof is not reviewable, is the flagrant.
But I would say, based on that video, I would not have called a cylinder foul, because those 2 Iowa State guys were pretty good defensively. It was when Nunn went forward that they had to call that foul. And here's a catch right here. So a tough break for Baylor, but I think it's the right call. And it's a rule, John.
Yes.
That's the deal. Obviously, Jaden Nunn didn't do it on purpose, try to hurt Lipsey, but that's what we call excessive contact.
Gilbert straight on. And it goes. It's a three. Keshon Gilbert. And all of a sudden, Iowa State leads it by 9.
Well, that's a 5-point play right there.
Huge swing. Walter had it knocked away, dives on it. And they'll go possession arrow, and it belongs to Iowa State.
Great effort on a defensive end. And John, when TJ Otzelberger got here, that defense in his first year, the Sweet 16 year, number 5 in the country. Last year it slipped all the way down to number 8. And this year, it's the second best defense in the country behind the team that we saw in the earlier game today.
King, and he'll get the timeout. 5:55 to go. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Back to Kansas City after this. Back here in Kansas City, Iowa State leading Baylor 26-17. 5:55 to go. And a lot of Cyclone fans in the house, to no one's surprise. Hilton South here at T-Mobile Center. John Shelby, Fran Fraschilla, and Chris Button.
Hey, John, let me correct myself on one thing. I had the arrow pointing towards Baylor when I said Jaden Nunn could have taken a jump ball, and that was my fault. I read that possession arrow wrong.
Gilbert gets a piece of the paint, gives off to Ward. Shot clock winding down. Gotta heat it up. And Loner corrals the rebound.
One of the things I thought Baylor has struggled with this year is getting the ball into the paint versus quick guards. And you're seeing it right now. There's not a lot of room inside. That's that early help we talk about.
The double team came, and Walter turns it over. That's the 5th Baylor turnover. Lipsey.
It's really hard to drive that baseline against this team.
Hason Ward. He's got 6. He's made an impact in this one. Loner at the basket. Give off. Ojanwuda couldn't hit. Loose ball, possession arrow, and it belongs to Baylor.
That's the 3rd point-blank layup that Baylor's missed. And a lot of it is because they're spooked. This Iowa State defense is just everywhere.
Though Scott Drew knew it coming in. This conference best, or boasts the 2 best statistical defenses in the country in Houston and Iowa State.
And when I checked yesterday, John, I think this league has 6 of the top 28 defenses or something in that neighborhood. This league is built on toughness and defense.
Bridges catches and fires.
In that first game in Waco, that's exactly how they handled all those sideline traps. They swung it to the other side. Now they got to keep doing that.
Gilbert kicks. Jones answers with a 3.
That's their 6th man. 2nd leading scorer in Big 12 play.
Under 4 to go here, first half. Dennis puts it on the floor. They get the foul on Momcilovic. 31-20. Iowa State on top. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team.
Like so far about the Cyclones?
And their one-on-one defense has been extremely impressive. The ability to guard the ball and not rely on your weak side help, that's what's gotten the lead.
Yeah, on the flip side of it, Baylor's defense, which has been a little bit of a problem all season long, they've given up a lot of clean, open looks from beyond the arc. That efficiency for Iowa State has given them this lead. It's important that they lock up at the defensive end of the floor, start to more aggressively try to attack.
And here's the play that took place, and you look at Lipsey straddling Nunn's leg, and eventually the flagrant.
That's right, John. By rule, the officials came over and told us they could have called a cylinder foul on the defense because Lipsey did straddle the leg. Since they didn't call it, they had to adjudicate the flagrant one.
Dennis collects, Baylor the other way. The Bears down by 9. And that'll go the other way. All right, so this is the other part of that play. Remember, eventually the play led to, with Nunn getting it to Loner to Misi. That basket counts.
That's right, because after that basket, they blew the whistle, went to the monitor, and looked for the flagrant one, which they had. Had they called the cylinder foul first, they could have adjudicated both fouls, but in this case, when they didn't call it, they had to call the flagrant one. That's the rule, and, you know, they're going to change it because of their play? Probably not, but that is the rule.
Because there was no whistle in between the play and the basket, you can't take points off the board there. Dennis, that one misses, but I think Dennis got the tip.
Now, Baylor did this last night. They played very sloppy in there. They only had 27 minutes in this arena before the game started last night. They have not played well. They just need to stay close when they get to the half. On the other hand, that defense by the Cyclones has been absolutely gorgeous.
Shot clock under 10. Curtis Jones
Go for it.
trying to feed Trey King, and it's a kickball. 2:19 to go here first half, and that flagrant foul on Jaden Nunn, a huge swing in this game. And I thought the officials handled it really well and explained it
they're not
very nicely.
They are not perfect, and they never are, but neither are the players and coaches.
Jones hangs, can't hit. Bridges. Baylor back the other way. Bridges fires and hits. He can get really hot, and you better look out. He's got a dozen, including 3 threes.
Well, last year in this game against this team, he was 7 of 8 from deep and had 28 points. Deja vu, maybe.
Oh, nice move. Look at Gilbert weaving through traffic. And Keshon with 7.
Keshon's he's already on his way to being a star. He will be a star next year. This backcourt is dynamite.
Kid from St. Louis started at UNLV.
See Trey King trying to keep him from shooting that 3.
Nunn. Fight for the loose ball, out of bounds. And it's Iowa State basketball.
And we've seen it all year, John. Jalen Bridges, he can get hot. Big time shooter, this time on the move in transition. And love watching this kid play. Keshon Gilbert, young man from Vashon High School. They put out a lot of talent. And you mentioned UNLV, recruited to UNLV by TJ Otzelberger.
A 6-point Iowa State advantage. Feed here, Gilbert, jumper. Dennis with his head up. And Nunn stepped on the sideline. A turnover. And it's Iowa State basketball leading by 6. 49.1 seconds left.
Well, let's watch this, John, because if you want to go 2 for 1 here, you got to get it up about 40. And it doesn't look like they're going to rush into it.
Gilbert at the basket, off the glass, wouldn't fall. Had a good look at it.
Yeah, on second thought, that's exactly what they did.
Dennis had to take it away. It's Gilbert. And they get a foul on Bridges. So Keshon Gilbert making quite an impact in the first half. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Now watch the quick hands right there by Lipsey. Lipsey, John, in his career has averaged 2.5 steals a game. You see the hard foul right here. Not from Walter, but the body on the backside. Lipsey, like Shed, first team all defensive team as well as first team all Big 12. I was talking to Pop Isaacs today, and he told me that he and Tamin played on the USA national junior team, and nobody knew who he was. Don Showalter, the director, put him on the team. An Iowa guy.
Deflected out of bounds. Over 20.8 left. It'll be Baylor basketball. Cyclones lead it by 8. The winner gets Houston in our championship tomorrow. Dennis with Lipsey on him. Fans on their feet. Here's Hilton South. And now Dennis going to work. Left side, none, wide open. They got a good look at it. They just didn't knock it down. Iowa State will take an 8-point advantage into the break. TJ Otzelberger's team holding Baylor to 38% from the floor, and Coach Otzelberger is with Chris Button.
TJ, not a surprise. We start first talking about your defense. What did you like on that end of the floor?
Yeah, I thought early we really dictated. When we got back in transition and got set, our guys did a great job being locked in. We just got to make sure we're back in transition every time.
The Baylor team we saw yesterday played much better in the second half. What will be important in the first 4 minutes coming out?
Yeah, we have to have more energy. We've got to be the one that's the aggressor to start the half. We got to be great limiting the one shot as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Iowa State, a potential 2 seed in the tournament. They lead at the half by 8.
What happened the last time these two teams played?
Iowa State in the first half turned it over only twice. You heard Scott Drew in his huddle say, we're not going to win if we don't offensive rebound. They've got 5. Iowa State has 4. They do have the advantage overall in rebounding. As you look at the first half stats, and it'll be Iowa State basketball to begin.
And Baylor comes out man-to-man. They're changing up those defenses.
Jones inside. Momcilovic finds him, and the bucket for Big Rob.
Boy, they went right at Misi. A little baseline screen that freed him up, and he shot it right over the freshman. That's a foul on Jones.
Jones running over Jacoby Walter. And that is number 3 on Robert Jones. And immediately Hason Ward is going to check in for TJ Otzelberger.
Now, last year they had Oshuni, the St. Bonaventure transfer, to go with Jones. Ward was a afterthought, but he's been giving him a great lift lately. Those are the shots you have to make, right?
Jacoby Walter had a really good look at it right there. Baylor just 3 for 13 from 3. Gilbert kick out. And now Lipsey. Gilbert almost lost it out of bounds. Keshon goes to work. Momcilovic, shot clock is under 10.
That's a fadeaway here.
Fadeaway. And flying in for the rebound was Misi. Dennis.
I think you've got to spread this team outside. That's the 4th time today they tried to hit that roll. And what none is not taking into account is they're prepared for the roll, because that's become the new norm. And watch this now. It's a trap. So Big is going to short roll. Watch the hands. See, you train to get those hands low defensively. And
yeah, they close that gap
quickly. Quicker than you and I when we went to the buffet today.
Bridges not able to hit. And Gilbert back the other way. Keshon Gilbert and the Cyclones leading it by 10. Momcilovic, corner 3, got it! And the lead is 13 for the Cyclones.
Well, he needed that for his confidence because he struggled down the stretch.
Dennis at the basket, and he's fouled. R.J. Dennis.
It doesn't sound like a lot, John, but 2 for 3 tonight from deep for the freshman who, for much of this year, has been in the starting lineup basically from the beginning. He's got that Dirk Nowitzki type of game. To play in this league as a freshman, be all freshman team is a great accomplishment. And the young man from Pewaukee, Wisconsin. By the way, at halftime, I noticed a Tyrese Halliburton tweet, and he was talking about Hilton South, so you know he's tuning in tonight. Another one of those Wisconsin connection guys
That's
we
right.
talked about. There you go.
But a couple of Cyclones added at the end. Quite a start to his NBA career. R.J. Dennis knocks down the second. Iowa State, their lead is a dozen.
Great job of just moving that ball side to side.
Well, Chilovich to the corner, and Gilbert goes baseline. Give off Ward. Flips it up and in. Hason Ward has been a factor in this one. He's got 8 points. The average is just under 6.
Yeah, that was great action because they went side to side with that offense. They've really spread this Baylor defense out.
Offensive foul. It'll go the other way.
John, we talk about the defense, but the offense has been pretty good tonight. Watch this side-to-side movement right now. They keep Baylor on skates. And so as this ball is swung, they've got room to drive it.
Timeout on the court. Baylor takes it. And we'll take it with them. 42-28.
It's like home court. It's like we're playing in Hilton. It's been known as Hilton South. Our fan base, their passion, their enthusiasm, how they fill up this building, it's really special.
How do you describe Hilton Magic? It's the belief.
Fans love coming down here. They bring a lot of energy. First-class atmosphere all the way around. It's an electric environment, and we're just really fortunate to be able to play here.
There's some Hilton magic in this building tonight.
It's about 220 miles to Hilton Coliseum up in Ames, and based on how loud it's been in here, I don't know if there's anyone left back in Ames. By the way, guys, I have a decibel reader on my watch, and it keeps alerting me that it's loud in here at 90 decibels, and 30 minutes of this might cause temporary hearing damage.
All right, well, good luck with that, everybody.
Yeah, we got our headphones on. We're safe. Little zone now by Baylor. Keep mixing it up. Still can't find something to slow down the Cyclones. Their ball movement's been terrific. Very unselfish team.
Gilbert. Oh, he reversed it. Well done, Keshon Gilbert. 2 more for him. He's got 11.
And John, I'll go back to that TCU game. When they played without Lipsey, Gilbert and Jones came into their own as guards, and you could see the confidence has built all season long.
You know, for Baylor, the task is to find an answer offensively. Walter inside, no call. Bridges put back, wouldn't go, and eventually a foul underneath on Iowa State.
Well, take a look at this young man. Watch him drive baseline and watch him use the rim to protect from the shot blocker. Can't go through the rim. That's goaltending, and nice job by Gilbert. He's look at it, eyes on the rim. Excellent focus and execution.
Jalen Bridges, 2 free throws. Excellent free throw shooter. 84% this year, 80 in his career. One of the stories for Baylor, this is a very good offensive team, and most of them have been in recent years under Scott Drew. But Jacoby Walter, their prize freshman, has not scored. He is 0 for 5 from the floor. And if they have any hope of coming back, you'd have to figure that it will include Walter getting going.
Yep, you're right. Now they do have 5 in double figures tonight. 6 on the season with Langston Love out. But certainly he's been a catalyst more often than not this season.
Jaden Dunn is scoreless as well in this one. Here's Gilbert again. Omaha Baloo spinning inside, keeps his pivot foot, eventually gives it off. Jones. Baloo, that's a three.
And he's not hit a three all year, but confidence in him by TJ, giving him some minutes, especially without Demarion Watson, who's out tonight with concussion protocol.
Ray J. Dennis to Lohner. They swing it left side. Bridges not able to hit that one, and now it's Gilbert. Gilbert had it knocked away. Baylor back the other way. Ray J. Dennis. Walter will try a three. And a foul underneath. And that'll be on Lohner. 14-point advantage for the Cyclones. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. And then at 8 Eastern, the women's selection special, 9 Eastern, bracketology of the women's tournament. It's all coming up Selection Sunday.
And right now, Joey Lenardi has 9 Big 12 teams in the field. So anxious to see what Kansas is going to look like, see if they can get McCullough and Dickinson back.
Good ball movement, and eventually it ends with Trey King laying it in. Joe Lenardi, as of today, had Iowa State as a 2 seed.
Well, I think they're going to be on that 2 line, John, no matter what. Sustained success all season, 13-5 in the best league in college basketball.
Dennis, high off the glass, wouldn't go. Oh, John with an offensive rebound. Dennis gets fouled.
Lipsey just said, I got all ball. And more often than not, he does. Dennis caught that ball on the move. Let's watch. Well, he got all ball. Yep. He's not going to complain very often, and he really didn't even complain.
But with the fouls on Gilbert.
Well, there you go. I thought the ball was knocked loose by Lipsey's.
Turnover. Iowa State the other way. That's the 9th turnover on Baylor. Gilbert, corners 3. There it goes. Keshon Gilbert with 14. And it is all Iowa State here in Kansas City.
Can't drive baseline on that team. That's a good job. Get it out, swing it.
Dennis tries, was short on that shot, out of bounds, and it's Iowa State basketball.
This is a team, John, in Baylor, you said it earlier, one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, and they have been woeful to this point.
3 for 17 from 3, and they're 0 for 8 in the second half from the floor. Jones. Curtis Jones buries that one. And it is a rout early on here in the second half. Largest lead of the game. It's 22. And the Cyclones here at their home away from home. And they've been doing the job here in this one.
Yep, watch this great ball movement right here. Side to side, inside, interior passing. Great job there. Ball's humming. And Scott Drew, who has lost the last 4 games in this tournament to Iowa State, obviously not happy with the performance so far. I mean, John, to say this is not a home court advantage would be silly.
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's just incredible to see this. Just take a look. I'll shut up and watch.
Fran. Hey, Fran. Layout. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. It's a must-have for Big 12 fans. Baseball and softball seasons in full swing. There's more than 450 matchups available, along with most games of both conference championships. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up now at ESPNplus.com/Big12 now.
Nice little ATO out of the timeout. They cleared the side, took away the help. Misi catches it, gets to the rim, and gets an easy one with a chance for a 3-point play.
A foul on Gilbert, his second. And Lipsey knocks it down.
Now we're going to see a little full court pressure now by Baylor. Got a lot of ball handling out there for Iowa State, and they carved through it pretty quickly.
Jones the king, kicks out Gilbert. Jones from deep. And Lohner with the rebound. Lohner will try a three and hit.
Well, Caleb's only made 3 on the season, but that was good time to knock down that third one. 3 for 10 now. But he's given Baylor in 2 nights great energy.
9 points in this one for Caleb Lohner. Jones off the glass, wouldn't fall. Fight for the loose ball, possession arrow, and it belongs to Baylor.
First time tonight you feel like Baylor's in a mini run here. Couple very good possessions. See if they can keep it going. Big Rob Jones, John back with 3 fouls.
Lipsey squares up on Jones. And a takeaway, Lipsey. Tamin Lipsey pushing. Jones a 3. Well, that's an answer for that little mini run from Baylor.
Courtesy of Tamin Lipsey.
And a flush from Lipsey off a gorgeous feed from Ray J. Dennis. Lipsey with 10. It's a 17-point game, under 12:20 to go.
Lipsey 8 points, 6 assists tonight.
Nod off balance. And they get a foul on Momcilovic for pushing off underneath as Lipsey hit the deck. And that is number 3 on Milan Momcilovic.
And John, how about Ballou? I know it's a small thing because he was a top 10 recruit, but as you pointed out, he has not played since January 24th. In the last 2 nights, he's gotten some solid minutes. He's a no mistake guy so far. Hasn't really hurt them at all. Good energy.
Nunn still scoreless in this one. Hanks can't hit, but he's fouled. Jaden Nunn will shoot free throws when we come back. Robert Jones just picked up his 4th. It is all Iowa State here in KC.
TCU was down 16-0. Somewhat similar tonight. And yet, John, Houston right now, the walking wounded.
And Nunn with his first point of the game. Well, for Baylor, Nunn, Walter, and Dennis have combined to go 2 for 19 from the floor and 0 for 10 from 3. That's been a big part of the story. And obviously Iowa State, their great defense is participating in that. On the other side, Iowa State doing an excellent job taking care of the basketball. They turned it over 3 times. Look at how much Lipsey's had it in his hands, and he hasn't turned it over. And right there, they turn it over. And they get it right back. Hason Ward.
And that's the second time Lipsey's thrown the ball away.
Ballou gets it to Ward. Now Gilbert. Shot clock is under 10. Got to get something up here. Jones lost the handle. Bridges dives on it. Shot clock violation. Baylor ball. 11:14 to go. It's a 15-point Iowa State advantage.
You know, there's obviously plenty of time left in this game. The problem for Baylor is this is a suffocating defense. Nothing has come easy tonight.
Yeah.
And John, this is the #5 offense in America, with 5 out there tonight in double figures.
No Langston Love again for Baylor. He did play in the previous game. Good feed, Loner. They get the block. And Messi to throw down.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that they don't get the basket because of the foul. But Loner, good job right here. Watch him drive it. Well, I can't tell if his feet were in the circle or not. But he looked like well, last year, that's obviously a charge. This year, you have to be established before the player grabs the ball and gathers in an upward movement. And we'll see it right here. Yeah, see, I think that he's not, by rule this year, I would say that's a 50-50, and I don't have a problem with the block. Could have gone either way.
Okay.
Last year, absolutely a charge. And I'm going to ask you this. We've done games all year. How many charges have you seen?
Yeah, very few.
And it's better for the game.
I totally agree.
Yep. Again, we can quibble, you know, a million times about that play. I like the fact that it was called a block. That's great ball movement.
Jones here flips it up, wouldn't fall. And then they get Hason Ward over the back.
John, I really enjoy watching Iowa State play in that half court. They really go side to side. Those big guys have become really good at what we call that DHO, the dribble handoff.
TJ Otzelberger. He's got that just calm demeanor. Sits there. And on the sideline is, yeah, it's pretty even. DC knocks down the first.
Yeah, we watch this young man's free throw form and percentage go up over the course of the season.
Iowa State now has committed 9 fouls. Baylor just 2 here in the second half. It's a 12-point game, 10:34 to go. Lipsey gets it, and they push it up. And Hason Ward. Loner at 3. Well, this crowd's been alive. It's been into it, and it has been a highly partisan Iowa State crowd.
Watch this ball movement. Good trap right here.
Good look underneath as they find Trey King.
That was textbook. In order to get out of the trap, sometimes you got to dribble out of it and back up and attack the rest of that defense.
Messi the layup. And Lipsey goes down. Lead Messi with 14.
Watch this, John. Watch the ball movement up the court. I've been really impressed. We talk about Iowa State and their defense, but they really have good schemes. They move that ball side to side. Look at the dribble out of the trap. And now you're playing 3-on-4. And a great find. Well, it wouldn't be the Big 12 if we didn't have a lot of blood on these jerseys tonight.
Yeah, we saw earlier in our first game, Damian Dunn had to actually change jerseys and went from number 11 to number 6. Doug Sermons, Marcus Pettigrew, Brett Smith, good work here tonight. Our 3-man officiating crew.
Watch how well they move this ball side to side. Now they're going to try to post King, but they know what they're doing.
From Chilovic. Got this dribble. Eventually, shot clock winding down, gets it off. And then rolled out.
He's got that Dirk fadeaway, but he's also, when I first watched him early in the year, he does shoot like Larry Bird. Now, he's not as accurate, but the technique looks the same.
Walter turns, shoots, and can't hit. Jacoby Walter still scoreless. 0 for 7 from the floor, 0 for 4 from 3. Gilbert shot wouldn't fall. Bridges the rebound. Baylor back the other way, down 14.
Look at these hands.
Baylor has never led in this game, and Walter finally gets into the scoring column.
Well, remember, this team shoots almost 40% from 3, so if you give them open looks, they can get right back in this game.
And a foul the floor. That's on Jacoby Walter. Our under 8 timeout. The winner here will take on Houston tomorrow. 59-48, 7:43 to go. Top 4 seeds making the semifinals. Houston's already dispatched Texas Tech, and they await the winner of this one. Of course, for Houston, only 3 losses on the season. Road losses at Iowa State, at TCU, and at Kansas. That's it.
That would be 3.
Fred Pacheco will be checking my math the rest of the night. Gilbert puts it on the floor, kicks out. Momcilovic got it. That's a big 3 to give him a little more breathing room to lead back to 14.
I don't want to be a waver, but it does look bird-like. Just the form itself. Little zone now by Cyclones. They ran this defense once last night and then gave up a lob. See? You see?
I don't have anything to add, Fran. You sniffed out the lob. You let America know, and here we are.
Yep.
I'm thinking they may get out of the zone on the other.
I absolutely guarantee that. That's the play du jour in the Big 12 versus zone, thanks to Bill Self.
I would love it if there's one thing that I could get America to do, it would be if you see Fran Fraschilla in an airport or on the street, don't yell, "Hey, Fran," just yell, "There's the lob."
It's like I have a radar.
It'd be amazing.
I have a radar about lob plays versus zones.
Going through the terminal at O'Hare as Fran is stopped to get unsweetened iced tea, and just off in the distance someone yells lob.
You know, but actually the thing behind that is when you go zone, which they're doing right now, and you get a lob versus the zone, it's demoralizing.
Yeah. Bridges to the corner, none, can't hit. As Gilbert came flying in to pull down the rebound. Keshon Gilbert with 15 points, and 7 assists. He's also got 7 rebounds.
By the way, there's only been one triple-double in the history of this tournament. Kasip Powell of Texas Tech back in 2003.
Yeah, that was a while ago. Ray J. Dennis charged with that foul, and that is number 4. 6:20 to go. Iowa State leading by 13.
Once again, Baylor mixing and matching. Now their zone.
Straight on, Jones. I thought Curtis Jones was coming into your lap.
I was ready.
I know you were.
I had you protected. I was going to try to deflect it back in play. Watch this right here. We're ready, John. That's not Brock Cunningham, by the way. Coming at me. No. Almost decapitated us out in Texas Tech.
Hason Ward gets a really nice hand, giving him excellent minutes here in this one.
I mean, they've missed a ton of those.
Yeah, no doubt. Messi not able to hit off a good feed from Dennis.
And they've missed open threes, and they've missed a ton of layups.
Gilbert up and one.
Oh, it's great basketball. Great footwork. Terrific footwork. He comes to a stop in the lane. He pivots. Little sleight of hand. Watch this now. Watch the drive. Under control. DC bumps him. Great footwork right here. I'll tell you, Keshon Gilbert, I've said it a couple times, he's grown on me. He's really, really a good Big 12 guard.
And he's played well here. 18, 7, and 7. Bridges from Dennis. And eventually Lipsey comes up with it. Iowa State with the ball up by 16. Here in Kansas City, the Big 12 championship. Shot clock under 10. Lipsey. Lipsey up and under. Wouldn't fall. Messi had it knocked away, but Bridges collects. Now Dennis. And Dennis quickly at the basket lays it in, and it's a 14-point game.
And the beauty of this backcourt is right now Lipsey can go to the left corner, catch his breath, and Gilbert will take over for a little bit.
Gilbert flips it up and in. He's got 20.
Add that 7 and 7, and that's a pretty good night so far.
Good hands there by Curtis Jones.
Great win by Buzz's club. I spent some time with them early in the year, as you have. You had them in Houston. And that's amazing. They do not have the talent Kentucky has. And Kentucky's been up and down all season long. The defense comes and goes.
Shot clock under 10, and Walter turns it over. Bad turnover, and Lipsey the easy bucket. Ward takes it away. Lipsey. And Curtis Jones is fouled, and he will go to the line and shoot 2. When we return, the Cyclones 3 minutes 41 seconds away from a date with Houston in the championship. Well, Iowa State, talk about recent history. They've dominated here in Kansas City. George Niang and company. The mayor, Fred Hoiberg, hosting the trophy. Monte Morris And it's been pretty amazing how they've been able to come here and win. Steve Prohm cut down the nets. And a possible championship preview. These teams split their 2 meetings January 9th. Iowa State handed Houston their first loss of the year. They were 14-0, and Houston 53 points fewest of the season. And then the revenge game in Houston.
And keep in mind, in that first matchup, the freshman Milan Momcilovic with the fadeaway in the corner. That was the game winner. By the way, 8-point loss by Iowa State. I guarantee you that's the least margin of loss against Houston at home this year.
Iowa State seeking its 6th title game appearance. They're 5-0 in the previous 5. Jalen Bridges, 16 points, 10 rebounds, but it has not been enough. One rattles out, Nisi pulls it down. Jacoby Walter and Jaden Nunn in this one have combined for 5 points on 1 for 12 shooting.
And that's another example right there. Jacoby got all the way to the basket looking for the 3-point play. Once he absorbed the contact, I think that's Rob Energy's 5th. So he'll say goodbye and listen to the crowd. They love this guy.
It's like we're in Ames, Missouri.
Well, there'll be another couple thousand getting up tomorrow morning and coming down I-35. I think there's a Cracker Barrel somewhere outside of Des Moines. Get some breakfast. And then last one out of Ames. Remember what we say. Turn the lights out. You'll be back Sunday.
Wow. Rims off for Walter. What a frustrating game for Jacoby Walter. Misses both free throws.
If you'd have told me Baylor would go 5 of 23 from behind the arc, I would not have believed you.
Jones. King went down hard. He'll go to the line. Trey King. The Eastern Kentucky transfer. Down hard. He was trying to throw that down with one hand. He had a good game against K-State. 16 points, 9 rebounds in 31 minutes. Been a bit more quiet in this one. They haven't needed him.
I'll tell you what, John, he had 2 good games against Houston, and of course he had a big game at home against Kansas in that win. And they'll need his heft tomorrow night. What I appreciate about Iowa State and their fan base, John, is they haven't always been great. There's some years they've had some lean years, but they really appreciate their team, win or lose. Of course, they love winning, but it is incredible fan base. Not spoiled at all.
Inside, Ojanwuna with the bucket. Ooh. Tell you, the multiple ball handlers for TJ Otzelberger's team with Jones, Gilbert, and Lipsey has been a big factor in this one.
Yep. And don't think Tamin Lipsey doesn't appreciate it.
Momcilovic not able to hit. Baylor back the other way. Under 2 to go.
Great defense right there. Jones just showed his hands.
Dennis from deep. Ojanwuna, offensive rebound. The putback wouldn't fall. Bridges puts it in. Bridges with 18.
And there's those multiple ball handlers on display versus the press.
Under a minute to go. Momcilovic into the paint, flips it up and puts it in. Milan Momcilovic with 11 in this one, and Iowa State will take on Houston in the championship tomorrow. 2 for Bridges for the Cyclones. 5 players in double figures in this one. And we'll get a treat tomorrow. The top 2 teams in this conference in the regular season, 2 of the top teams in the country, will square off with a Big 12 title on the line. That comes your way tomorrow here from Kansas City, and you know there'll be a lot of Cyclone fans.
Cougs are built for that. That's going to be fun.
Momcilovic not able to hit. Time now for our player of the game, and it's brought to you by Phillips 66 and Keshon Gilbert. Great work as he came up with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. The bucket there from Nunn. Iowa State, the Cyclones, Hilton South. They won it, and TJ Otzelberger's group will take on the #1 seed and #1 team in America, the Houston Cougars. Sports Center coming up next. Again, your final here, 76-62. And again, join us tomorrow, 6 Eastern Big 12 Championship, Iowa State and Houston. For Chris Budden, Fran Fraschilla, and our entire outstanding crew, I'm John Shambi saying thanks for joining us here in Kansas City. Let's send you to Sports Center now. Nicole Briscoe and Michael Eaves.
Hi, Boog. Thank you so much. And yeah, what a performance by Iowa State to pull away down the stretch, win that one by 14. So they have a pretty good matchup in that Big 12 championship final. And yeah,